Hi, my name is Aaron Tadlock. I am doing the lesson plan final project for Dr.Moralez, Kinesiology 3341, section 92L. So, for today's lesson plan for the project, I am going to be doing an activity that I did in elementary school and that I'm going to be doing in my made up elementary school called Allen Scott Elementary. I'm going to apologize right now for the noise. There is construction going on in the house right next to me, so you may hear some background noise from them. So, in today's plan, I'm playing a game and doing an activity whenever I was in elementary school that my coaches called it two cones in a bucket, which is it's essentially two cones in a bucket. And the cones are set up about 20 feet apart, give or take, depending if we were going to be playing inside a gymnasium or if we're going to be playing in a pavilion. Today we're going to be playing outside. It is a little chilly, so I did wear appropriate clothing. And so the cones are set up 20 feet, like I said, about 20 feet apart. And then you have your starting cone, which is right over here, which we'll show later on in the video. And we have our shooting cone, which is right over here. And about 5 feet in front of the shooting cone is a bucket or a basket, whatever equipment you have on hand. And the student will start at the starting cone, and they'll sprint or jog, but it's preferably a sprint to the shooting cone. Once they get to the shooting cone, they will then do a light underhand toss, try to make it to the bucket. This activity really helps out with hand-eye coordination and the agility and mainly the coordination effect with this plan, because when they are starting off, they will have a ball in their hand, so they have to make sure they organize themselves in a way to where when they run, they don't just move their arm all around, and they kind of have to keep it somewhat strict. They are going to be fifth graders, so it is going to be kind of crazy and kind of hectic. They're just elementary school kids. But to an extent, they will learn, like, oh, well, I can't have the ball way out here and run. It makes me run slower. Or I can't have the ball up here because it doesn't make any sense to run that way. I'm running slower. So essentially they're going to have the ball with them right here. And most athletic kids who played sports, whether it's Pee Wee football or Little League baseball, they will have some kind of coordination and athleticism to them. As far as students with disabilities, whether they are in a wheelchair or they have some kind of mental disorder or they are special needs, we'll accommodate them to whether they do move up into the shooting position, or maybe they start halfway instead of the full 20, or maybe I'll bring the bucket closer to them. It all just depends. The teams in my class, I have 16 students in my class. It'll be 4 teams of 4. I will have 4 rows of cones, one in the starting position and one in the shooting position, and I will have 4 buckets or baskets, whatever equipment I have at the time. And the equipment being used besides the cones and buckets will be a ball, and it will be a small to medium-sized ball. Since there are kids, obviously I can't use a full-size basketball or full-size baseball. Today I will be using a soccer ball because that's all I have on hand right now to give a more ideal representation of what I would like the lesson plan on and how I'd want it to go. So in today's warm-up, we're going to be doing high knees and karaoke to warm up the legs, because we are going to be running around a lot. We are going to be doing things. And after the dynamic stretching, we will do a little bit of static stretching, which will be just toe touches, and it will be arm across your body, arm behind your back, to stretch out those arms, stretch out those muscles, those ligaments, and everything. And after that, we will begin. For my ideal for this would be each student will have a ball, and I have the timer set for 3 minutes. It may not take the full 3 minutes. We never know. Some kids will be slower than others. Some kids will be faster. But when I set up the groups, I'll make sure that it's pretty even across the board for as best as what I can do with the students that I would have at the time. And the students will line up. I'll give them each of a ball. And once I say start, I'll be playing music. I'll be playing some upbeat tempo music So that way it'll get the kids like, oh, I gotta get there fast. And they gotta sprint over there. And once they get over to take the shot, they gotta coordinate themselves, gotta slow down, gotta take the shot. Because if they just run over there, sprint, get to that shooting cone and just throw it, they're gonna miss. So they're gonna have to learn how to to slow themselves down once they get to the cone, think about it, toss it, and sprint back and tag the other person in. As soon as they tag the other person in, the other person, boom, sprint. And then same thing, gotta slow down, toss the ball, and make the shot. So hopefully the next scene that's coming up will be me showing you exactly what we're gonna be doing. So right now, I will be simulating myself as I was a student performing the activity, or since I would be their teacher, PE coach at the time, I would show them exactly what I mean by what the game, how the game and how the activity is going to be going for today's lesson. Another thing that we would be doing, besides when I would karaoke high knees stretching, is I would have the students practice an underhand toss, like that, just like that, and just have them toss to each other for about 5 minutes each. The warm up and the tossing will be about roughly 5 minutes each, and so that way we have plenty of time for the game. And once the game's over, we'll end up doing our cool down, our closure, and then we'll do pickup time, and then boom, and that's it. All right, let's get started. So starting cone is right over here. This will be your starting cone. That is your shooting cone, and then you have your bucket at the end. Hopefully you can hear me. If not, I'll add something. So be over here. Students will be 4 of us, 4 students. We'll start right over here. We're going to sprint. Right over here. Go down. Make the bucket. And that's about it. And then let's say I made the shot, had another student over here. I sprint. Boom, tag the person in, and there you go, just like that.